I have a question for you. How many charities will a typical donor support in a year? What do you think? Well, I'm here to give you answers, and you know we're still talking about and doing the quiz, 20 questions, the donor communications by Tom Ahern, and we're having all kinds of fun with it. So the question today, and we're starting with question number 12, is how many nonprofits are your donors supporting? And you know what the answer is? 5 or more. Okay? You have a lot of competition out there. And so let's talk about the reasons that it is 5, the notes and assumptions, as they say. The research that we're using was published in the Iceberg Philanthropy, and it found that the largest group, almost half of Canadian direct mail donors, gave to between 6 and 10 charities a year. And more than a third of the respondents reported giving to more than 20 charities a year. Wow. And the U.S. philanthropic marketplace is similar. So here's the takeaway. You share your, quote, average donor with a lot of other charities, and you do not have an exclusive. No way. And every year, new charities come knocking on the donors' doors, begging for support. They've got great stories to tell. They've got emotion, and you have to deal with that. And you know what? You have to really deal with it a lot nowadays, because the number of charities in the United States has almost doubled in the last 15 years. So, how do you compete successfully? Be very good at things that other charities are maybe not doing. And you know what that means. Be passionate about your mission. Tell emotional stories. Take good care of your donors. Have a new donor program when you get new donors. Make retention and donor love a huge part of your development program. Okay? All right. Now on to question 13. How quickly should you thank a new donor? Speaking of the new donor package, I hope you know the answer to this, and the answer is within 48 hours. Don't take 4 to 8 weeks, which happened to me recently. With a huge, generous gift, there is no excuse for that. And you know what? They're not going to forget. I'm not going to forget when it happened to me. I don't expect other donors to. 48 hours. Get on it. Do it. In 2011, we're talking now about the backing up to this question and the answer, the notes and assumptions. In 2011, Damian O'Brien, founder and manager of Ask Direct, had made a presentation, and he shared some startling research. And the research found that the first-time donors who received a personal thank you within 48 hours, listen, were 4 times more likely to give again. 4 times. You got that? So, thanking in 48 hours equaled a 400% improvement in renewal rates. You can't ignore statistics like that. You won't ignore statistics like that if you're a first-rate fundraiser. No way. First-time donors are ardent, but that ardor cools fast if you don't sustain it. You've got to sustain their passion and their interest. Tom Ahern says it's like a campfire ignited by match from tinder. You nurse it, you feed it oxygen, blowing across it. A super quick thanks does the same. It blows oxygen across an ardent new donor, keeping that small flame alive, excited by your mission. Got that? Keep a small flame alive, excited by your mission, your vision, your potential in their lives. At the very least, a super quick thanks get your organization past what often happens in the same 48-hour period, buyer's remorse. Ooh, don't want them to have remorse about gifting your cause. The standard for thanking in the nonprofit world has fallen so low, I'm sorry to say that they have found in their statistical analysis, that your unusual, speedy gratitude will probably net you far more friends. So, a 3-minute thank you phone call, as reported by The Agitator in 2013, will boost first-year donor retention by 30%. You got that? 3-minute phone call will boost your retention by 30%. That's extraordinary. So please remember these wonderful statistics that are proven, and when you read through the 20 questions, the donor communications quiz, you are going to see examples, and you are going to realize that the ghastly truth is that most charities thank poorly. They predictably, relentlessly, remorsefully, and let's hope unwittingly, underwhelm their donors. Hey, be the overwhelmer instead. Your charity will reap rich rewards. And those suggestions come from Tom Ahern and all these experts that put answers together and research together for this quiz. So now let's take a look at the very next question and move on. And this is the 14th question in the quiz. Okay, this is a good one, and this is one that you'll really want to give some thought to. 14. Should you include an ask in your thank you letter? The answer, Tom Ahern says, is dealer's choice. Okay, let's talk about the input here for this one. Now, Lisa Sargent, and she's a specialist on thanking, says as a rule, never ever include an ask in a thank you. And never ever include a donation reply slip. However, she says, I reserve the right to change my mind based on results. I, on the other hand, as a development director, always include a donation reply slip. Now let's talk about what Jeff Brooks had to say about this, because he kind of agrees with what I just said. He wrote in 2014, we found that it's best, B-E-S-T, to include a reply coupon in receipts, plus a return envelope. I totally agree. And he says it dramatically increases the response, which leads to better retention. And the thing not to do is to use standard ask techniques. What are those, you ask? Sad stories, negative photos, urgency, etc. After all, they've just given. So this package, this thank you, must be thankfulness and good news. The ask is simply just my next gift. You're talking to someone who really gets it and is emotionally well positioned to give again. And you know what statistics say, most likely to give again. Now let's go back to Lisa Sargent, because she continues to test her never, never premise. But so far, she is still sticking with it. So this is what you think. But I honestly think if there's no reply device with the envelope, I think you're just leaving it up in the air, because maybe they have a question. Don't you oftentimes have a question and you get a follow-up thank you, and there's a person's name, a contact name, and there's a phone number. And so there you are. They think, oh good, I'm glad I've got this. I'm going to give them a call. Okay? So Do not be afraid to do that, but the research shows it's a dealer's choice. Alrighty? Okay, so I want to get on to the next question, and here we go. Question is, which will raise more money? That's kind of an open-ended question, right? The answer is pretty closed-end. It's pictures of sad kids. Want to know why? Want to know what that Tom Ahern and his group of experts answering this quiz say? It says that your gut tells you that sad kids probably raise more money, but then your mind reasons, yeah, but if we show real-life happy kids, donors will see that our programs are successful. That makes perfect sense, right? Yet Tom Ahern says, and his experts say, that's not even close to making perfect sense. And consider this research from the American Marketing Association, and this is as reported by Jeff Brooks. And here goes. It says, in other words, a photo of a sad child, and then they give an example, will raise 50% more than a photo of a happy or neutral child. And do you wonder why? Well, I have an answer for you from the experts. There's a biological reason why bad images raise more money. We all have a lump of neurons, popularly called the lizard brain. Did you know that? It's early software. It was wired in at the start of the human evolutionary journey. In your modern skull and mind, that original lizard brain has become what science calls the amygdala. Remember this, that the takeaway here, I think, is negative emotions are linked to survival and are much stronger. Got that? So there is an opportunity for you to understand why negative photos work better. And there are a lot of people out there, experts, that will offer this simple guideline. Use negative imagery in your appeals. Use positive imagery in your newsletters. Negative imagery drives giving. Got that? And positive imagery reassures donor that something good has happened. Don't you love that? Kind of takes all the worry out of it. And I know you do worry about it, and I worried about it, especially at Christmas time and all those television ads, and you see just terrible things happening to kids and animals and people, and you just think, oh my God, I can't stand it. I've got to change the channel. Well, that's why they do it, because negative imagery drives giving. Okay, onward. This quiz has been so much fun. I'm going to give you the link. You really should download it. Keep this quiz because it has all kinds of graphs and images with it. Gives you examples. All right, so let's close right here for today, and we'll come back tomorrow with the final 4 questions in the quiz. And I know you're going to want to tune in, because guess what question 16 is? Which kind of household is most likely to leave a bequest to charity? I bet you're going to come back for that one, right? So, Joy Olson here of Blockbuster Fundraising saying thank you so much for being here today as a part of our summer learning series. We have so much to offer you fundraisers in terms of help and best practices and latest statistics and data to really jettison your fundraising to new heights. BlockbusterFundraising.com, JoyOlsonGroup.com, and hundreds of free fundraising videos on our YouTube channel. So see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for having been here today. Bye-bye.